and our staff, we appreciate your presence and involvement within our school district. Our regularly scheduled board meetings are a time for the Board of Education, the superintendent, and the staff to conduct important business of the school district within a transparent and public format. To ensure that our meeting goes smoothly, professionally, and efficiently, we ask everyone to maintain an appropriate level of decorum at all times. Please abstain from any conduct that would be disruptive or disrespectful. We ask our students, families, and those who've joined us this evening to celebrate special recognitions and special recommendations to remain until all acknowledgments and board comments have been made. At the conclusion of board comments, we'll take a short break and allow anyone participating in that portion of the meeting to leave if they so wish. At this time, if you could please silence your cell phones or other communication devices, I would really appreciate it. Again, thank you for your presence this evening. Tonight, we are honored to have Pastor Bill Hilly of Grace Baptist Church here to lead us in the invocation. Pastor Hilly.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'm grateful for you all. So let me pray and ask God's blessing on the service. Father God, thank you for today, for your love and your goodness to us, and thank you for the many blessings you bestow upon us, not the least of which is a wonderful school system into which we can entrust our children and grandchildren and know that they will be treated with respect and dignity and taught the important lessons of life. Father, I pray your blessing on the folks in this room that make that possible. And I know that there's a lot of hard work that goes into every school year, and this is no exception. So I pray for Dr. Flynn, I pray for our school board members, I pray for all of our principals and assistant principals, all of our teachers, all of our background workers, those who work in the kitchen, those who work in custodial services, those who drive buses, those who have a part in allowing this school system to be what it is. And I just pray your blessing upon them all, and I pray for every student and for their parents and grandparents. I just pray, Father, that this might be a great school year. I know that the folks in this room have many important decisions to make, and many of those will be difficult ones. So I just ask that you give them wisdom. I know the process of trying to please everyone is impossible, so help them in order to do the right thing and ensure that we have a great school system for many, many years to come. So just take charge of all that's said and done this evening, and for all that you accomplish, we'll give you all praise and thanks. And I ask these things in the name of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Next, we are honored to have the Harlem High School JROTC cadets present for presentation of colors. Let me introduce them, and then we'll all stand. Robin Drayton, who will be saying the pledge, Connor Grant, Ethan Pinsurga, Amaria Rucker, Abigail Walden. The commanding officers are Command Sergeant Major Jonathan Napier and Lieutenant Colonel Sampson Sider. Give them a big hand, folks. Now, if everyone will stand for the presentation of club colors and the pledge.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. Our agenda is approved as presented by the superintendent. At this time, I'll turn it over to Dr. Flint for a special recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good evening, board members, and good evening to all of our guests, and thank you
for being here. We're honored to have you with us, and we're looking forward to celebrating a number of accomplishments and then one special recommendation. We've had a great start to the school year, but I can't think of a better time than right now to recognize some really amazing accomplishments from the end of last school year. So I'll ask Dr. Carroll if she'll come forward and help with the presentations, and we'll get on with it. Dr. Carroll, thank you.
Okay, good evening. We're pleased to present our special recognition program, honoring individuals and groups whose outstanding achievements, dedication, Sophie Campanero, Mackenzie Kennedy, Nora Dye, Belle Gant, Krista Gillies, Molly Grover, Talasha Harris, Madeline Heckathorn, Addison Jernigan, Mara Jobs, Murphy Larkin. Many of these ladies are our seniors that graduated, so they have gone on. Kate McDonald, Kenley Mitchell, Sadie Oldham, Mamie Kate Hangle, Stephanie Schroeder, Aaliyah Silver, Adelina Stroop, Aubrey Stroop, Elena Temez, Mamie Kate Pangle. She's just joined us. All right, Elena Temez. Did we get that one? Sarah Law. Sophie Witt. Head coach Dallas Dickerson. And assistant coaches Rob Husted, Wes Kendrick, Miss Samantha McCullum. And Athletic Director Jason Osborne. And Principal Dr. Mike Jones. Congratulations. Next, we're excited to recognize the Lakeside High School girls tennis team, whose hard work, perseverance, and teamwork finished an outstanding state runner-up finish at the GHSA State Tennis Championships. The Panther girls tennis team completed a spectacular dominant season by traveling to the Rome Tennis Center to compete in the intense GHSA 5A State Championship Finals. Facing Georgia's top competition, the team fought hard and finished as the state runner-up. Remarkably, this marks the third consecutive year that the girls have reached the state finals to take home the runner-up trophy, alongside winning region championship for several consecutive years in a row. While the state title remains the ultimate goal, maintaining this elite level of regional dominance and state-level success for 3 straight years is a phenomenal achievement that proves the team has built a true culture of excellence. Our Lakeside High School Panther girls tennis team members, please come forward. Victoria Bishop. Amy Bull. Ellie Clement. Carly Fair, one of the team managers. Marlia Griffiths. Genevieve Handel. Maddie Jackson. Anna Leibel. Georgia Menalakis. Savannah Mills. Manis V. Patel. Zaya Patel. Kate Peterson, also co-team manager. Lauren Smith. And Connor Trammell. Head coach, Patricia Lozano Nunes. Assistant coach, David Arrington. Athletic director, Ben Rozier. And principal, Juliet King. Congratulations. Our final special recognition of the evening honors the remarkable accomplishments of one of our teachers from Greenbrier High School. Fund for Teachers, a national organization that supports pre-K through 12 educators, has named Crystal McDowell, a biology teacher, among its 2026 National Grant for Summer Fellowship recipients. Her proposal was selected through a highly competitive process, earning a $5,000 grant to attend professional development programs focused on molecular biology, scientific modeling, 3D printing, and biotechnology. These experiences will help her create an epidemiology course that expands real-world learning opportunities for students in AP Biology, Genetics, and Epidemiology. Ms. McDowell is one of 337 educators nationwide awarded a share of $1.56 million in grants for self-designed learning experiences. Since 2001, Fund for Teachers has invested more than $40.5 million for over 10,000 teachers across the United States, empowering educators to bring innovative ideas and opportunities into their classrooms and communities. Crystal McDowell, would you please come forward? And if we have any family members here, please stand to be recognized as well. And Principal Dr. Mike Jones. Congratulations. concludes our special recognition program for this evening. Turn it back over. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Carolyn. Some great recognitions. And next, I'll turn it back over to Dr. Flint for a special recommendation.
Members of the board, I'd like to call forward our candidate for the Director of Talent Management for the Division of Human Resources, Dr. Kenneth L. Johnson. If you could join us right up front here. Congratulations. There's nothing like starting a new job quite like this, right? Let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Johnson. He currently serves as the Director of Human Resources for the Richmond County School System, providing strategic HR leadership for more than 4,500 employees. His responsibilities include all functions of human resources to include recruitment, workforce and succession planning, retention, workforce analytics, and organizational improvement, all of which closely align with the responsibilities of his position. Prior to his role, Dr. Johnson spent several years with Governor School Leadership Academy, which I think y'all have heard of, where he helped develop current and aspiring school leaders across Georgia and helps build a sustainable leadership pipeline. He also brings valuable school-level experience as both an assistant principal in the high school, where he was the dean of the school's baccalaureate program, and he also served as an elementary school principal, duties which gave him firsthand knowledge and positions him to assist the division to continue the work of staffing and developing the talent our school district needs today as well as into the future. His education includes a Bachelor of Science degree from the University of Georgia, master's from Cambridge University, a specialist degree from Augusta University, and a Doctor of Philosophy from the University of Georgia. Joining Dr. Johnson this evening, if y'all don't mind standing for us, are his wife, his son, his parents, his sister, and aunts and uncles. I know y'all are really proud. Thank y'all for joining us. I will say, before I give you my recommendation, I also reached out to Dr. Cobb, who was very disappointed in this trade, but we're looking forward to having Dr. Johnson. I know they're going to miss you a lot in Richmond County. So, board members, it's my recommendation to approve the appointment of Dr. Kenneth L. Johnson, Jr. as the Director of Talent Management for the Division of Human Resources.
Thank you, Dr. Flint. Do I have a motion?
Motion that we approve the recommendation.
Okay. Dr. Johnson, in the past, we usually ask very difficult questions to make sure you've done all your homework. We're going to do that to you today.
Wow, we have these around here.
The,
He's a dog fan. He gets a pass.
I was wondering if you could call the dogs, you know.
all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. That's unanimous. Welcome to the team. Okay, with that being done, we have a few comments we would like to say in response to what we just witnessed. And let me begin this evening with District 1 Board Member, Mr. Philip Kent.
Pastor Bill, thanks for getting us started on the right step. To all the athletes, phenomenal job. I mean, you kind of have to win now. You win so much. Pretty amazing. 20 under is impressive. Was that best ball or what was that? No?
Hardly.
Would have been for me. First state championship. That's awesome. I'm so thrilled. Now that's a lot of pressure because you got to do it again. But we expect that. And then I guess Miss Crystal McDowell, that is a pretty good honor for that fellowship. I assume that's like PGX testing, CGX testing, genetics, mRNA. That's in the news a lot lately. That's certainly going to be super important for our kids to be involved in that and to learn from you, and to bring that expertise to us is pretty awesome. Who would like to go next?
I'll pick. Ms. Teasley, would you like to go next?
Sure. I thank all of you for coming out tonight and for participating, for students, for your effort every day, not only in the classroom but after school as well. for staying in condition, for doing all those things, to keep yourselves academically eligible, for looking ahead, meeting your goals. Parents, we thank you for all that you do in getting them there. I know that doesn't require any effort on your part at all, but we appreciate all of your effort. Thank you so much for doing that. Dr. Johnson, welcome aboard. Richmond County's loss is our gain. The folks who reside here in this building Monday through Friday, thank you for your efforts. You survived the first week, we all did. So we're looking forward to the next, 35 weeks, not that anybody's counting, but I think we're off to a good start. So we're going to have the best year yet. Thank you all very much. We are blessed.
Thank you, Ms. Teasley. Ms. Chrissy Baker.
Well, thank you, Mr. Dinkle. Pastor, I think Haley left. Thank you for opening us up in education. We do appreciate that. It starts our meeting off on a great vibe. To our athletes, I sat up here and thought about you guys from golf and tennis and, did I miss anyone? Golf, tennis. Soccer. How can I forget soccer? Y'all are amazing. What you do on the field, in the classroom, and your leadership skills, it will take you through life. I look back there and see my son played soccer in high school at Evans, and I see Coach Kiltz back there, who's now principal, but one of the best soccer coaches we've had in our area. I'm not biased by any means, but what you do on the field, and then most of you probably do travel all. I'm sure the hours that y'all put into year-round on the golf course is dedication. You will be successful. You will do great things, and we look forward to seeing you come back to this county and get back to it. So thank you for all that you do, and just amazing accomplishments y'all have done. We appreciate you. To Mrs. McDowell, you are not new to us. We've seen you up here frequently. You've been recognized throughout the years as an outstanding teacher, leader. I can't find you. I know there you are. All that you do. My daughter-in-law went to UGA, studied finance, worked for Georgia Pacific. Father got cancer, fell in love with healthcare, is an epidemiologist now, so went to Emory. It's a great field. It has so much growth. Thank you for what you do and bringing that program to your AP classes. I do appreciate that. Mr. Johnson, thank you so much for coming over to Columbia County. We do appreciate you and look forward to seeing great things. It's going to be fun having you here. So welcome, and your family. Thank you for your support for being here with us.
Thank you, Ms. Baker. Ms. Katie Allen.
I'm going to switch up. I'm going to start with Mr. Johnson here and work my way forward. So first of all, thank you for coming. Just want to clarify, Mr. Wright, you're not going anywhere, are you? Okay, just making sure that we're adding one because you're treasure too, just so you know. But welcome aboard. You're part of an amazing team. So I think it's just so great that you've come on over here to join us. So thank you for that. Ms. McDowell, another example of pushing above and beyond. We've got so many students here going above and beyond. We've got teachers here always pushing to do the next thing and bring the next thing here for students. So thank you so much from when we expect students to step up, the teachers are modeling it first for them. So that's just wonderful. Thank you for that. To all of our athletes, how wonderful. I think one of the best things about being an athlete is that it's almost a lifetime way of living. So even though the seasons might end, I'm sure most of you raise your hands if you did something for your sport over the summer in one way or another. Okay. I see a lot of kind of half raised hand. I know y'all work over the summer training, and you're either in a season or you're preparing for the next season. And it's that mentality of constantly working hard, pushing yourself. You maybe take breaks, but then you're right back to work. That crosses over into academics. It crosses over into life. It crosses over into family. It's just there's so much there that it's the mentality behind the athletics that I really applaud you for and encourage, because it pushes you to just do amazing things in life. So thank you for bringing that to our school district and shining, and blessings to everything you do for the rest of your life and how that crosses over. And then Pastor Hillary left, but thanks to him as well for leading us in prayer.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. And is Ms. Knight from Harlem High School still here? I was going to ask her to thank our cadets and commanding officers for today, and I just want to reiterate what everybody said. Congratulations on your great successes. You represent Columbia County so well, and to start our meetings by highlighting our exceptional students is just a great way to get a great meeting off the ground. So I'm very thankful. At this time, this concludes this portion of the meeting, and we'll take a short break. If anyone would like to stay for the remainder of the meeting, you're welcome to, but if you would like to leave, now's the time.
What's the mad rush for the doors?
I gotta get some more candy. Oh, Judy, are there round ones, like the lifesavers?
Yep.
Ooh, peppermints. Coach, we'll try to get Della there too. Oh, these are old. Look how old they are. I need that Johnson color that. Don't get my ticket there if I which guys.
Yeah, they're gonna miss them big time.
They are.
Yeah, they're gonna miss them. That's a gap.
She's here. Right back there, third row on the right-hand side.
Okay, I was gonna say, he's a guy.
All right, what's going on here?
I wanna get with the soccer team.
Oh, they have a banner. Okay.
Should we go get some peanuts for the show?
Child is Esau, and the mom communicated something different with the child than she did at school.
Makes sense. That's the same. You know, but that, if you get too
Dallas. Jason. Oh, they don't hear me.
Why did he get fired? Why did he get fired? I can't.
Oh, we should have gotten that picture.
Thank you. Great job. Okay, if y'all can make your way outside.
We're just having too many weird errors with this thing. We never had an issue. No. No.
Aww.
I'll get.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get back started. If y'all will make your way out, and it's a happy occasion, I understand.
He starts. I guess he said he starts now.
Okay, folks, let's come back to order. Thank you. I'll turn it back over to Dr. Flint at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for all those recognitions, board members. It was a nice evening. We will move on to the approval of consent items, and at this time, we recommend approval as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor of approval of consent items 8A through E, please raise your right hand. Any opposed? Seeing none, that passes.
We'll move on to board policies. We have a number of policies on the table, A through E, I'd like to continue to hold A, which is Board Policy EBB, safety on the table, just for some additional work. We got some input. We also have looked at some of the state examples, so we're just going to keep working on that, bring it back to you when we get it where we really want it. Nothing is urgent on that one. The other ones, we would recommend approval. We went through those adjustments with you. If you want to have a conversation on those or go through some of the specifics, we have staff here who also works in those areas. So this time, I'd recommend approval of board policy listed B through E.
So moved.
All right, is any objection to taking these together?
Now, I did have a question for discussion, but not an objection.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Floor is open.
What is the purpose of the revision for board policy GARJ, employee retirement? It looked like we made substantial edits to that. I was just curious what that was in response to.
That was wording that came from TRS, Teacher Retirement System of Georgia. But let me also ask Mr. Wright, was there anything else, or was that all that was there? Yeah. Okay. So, but everything else was straight from TRS.
So
All legislation, was it not?
Yes. Yeah, which rolls through the teacher retirement system.
So everything that we've stricken is specifically in response to that?
Right. And let me just ask also, typically when we take something out and might need something left, that might fall under procedures. And so those are areas, Mr. Wright, I think you moved any of those needed areas into procedure policy.
Okay, so it's still there, just on the procedure side, and that's why we struck it from the policy. And then when did the laws or rules change that triggered this? How recently? July 1? Okay, all right, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Any opposed? Seeing none, these policies, GARJ, IH, JB, and KJ, the revisions, KG, the revisions as proposed are approved unanimously. And then the one involving safety will remain on the table.
On the table, right.
Okay.
I'll introduce actually the next couple. We have a number of presentations, one because of the beginning of the school year, but also we have some really good news to bring to you. But I'd like to say a few words. We will start with the adoption of the 26 tax millage rate. I'll ask Mr. Casado to come forward and do that. There's been no adjustments since the last meeting. With also talking about human resources, we'll ask Mr. Wright to come forward. It is the beginning of the school year. I know we've had a lot of discussions on staffing, so I've asked him to do a bit of an update on that, let you know kind of where we are with our staff and any open positions. This is the time we do the calendar process. We typically do it right at the beginning of the school year so people don't get confused with this discussion prior to the start of a new calendar. And so Ms. Jackson's going to go through that process with you. We've kind of honed it down, and she's done a great job over the last couple of years getting it to this place. And so this isn't approval. It's just a little bit about the process and what's coming the next couple of weeks. So that's kind of exciting. We do have some great news. I won't steal his thunder, but our advanced placement programs are going extremely well. So we'll let Dr. Kimball come forward with that. Dr. Kimball will also stay up here to go through not only our pathway update, but also a discussion and recommendation for Junior Achievement Dream Accelerator. We also will have Brooke Smith, and we have a special guest, and I'd like to say we'll introduce him at that time as well, but just a special thank you to the President and CEO of Junior Achievement of Georgia, Mr. John Hancock. Thank you for being here. We're looking forward to your comments this evening as well. And then I'll come back up for the remainder of the meeting, but a good bit of information that'll come in between there. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Casado, and we'll move on from there.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. At the July 14th called meeting, you tentatively adopted the rollback rate of 14.997 mils for the 2026 tax digest. Following that meeting, the legal advertisements were properly published in the Augusta Chronicle and on the district's website in compliance with Georgia law. At this time, we ask that you give final approval to adopt 2026 tax digest rollback rate of 14.997 mils.
So moved.
Second?
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. Any opposed? Seeing none, that passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Everyone should have a goal, and my goal during the next few minutes is to present to you such a comprehensive update of talent management operations that I will not have to stand before you again this school year. Seriously, I want to give you a quick snapshot of where we stand on staffing as we enter the 2026-27 school year, along with a look back at our recent accomplishments and some things to be excited about. Let's start with the numbers. For certified positions, which include our teachers and other credentialed staff, we have 2,215 allocated positions with 2,207 employees assigned to them for a fill rate of 99.6%. Inside these numbers, we have fewer than 10 total certified vacancies, primarily concentrated in autism spectrum disorder, interrelated resources programs. Excellent fill rates when considering our demand for this skill set increased by 14%, or an additional 42 positions over last school year in this very high demand, very competitive talent category. This is a skill set that is sought out locally, statewide, and nationally. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention that one of those vacancies is a result of a last-minute individual who decided to break their contract at the last minute. For non-certified positions, of the 1,600 allocated positions, 1,580 employees are assigned to them for a 98.7% fill rate. Our recruiting priorities are focused on closing the gap on our 8 special education paraprofessional vacancies and our 11 combined maintenance tech, high-vac technician, and custodial vacancies. I've checked with district leaders with vacancies to ensure that none of their vacancies are impacting student achievement. We have coverage plans in place, instruction and services are not at risk. To recap, over 3,800 allocated positions, less than 30 vacancies, and our substitute pool is very solid. Those are the facts, but please allow me a moment to offer some observations or perceptions from my vantage point. Looking back, I like to look back and reflect on things, or what Shakespeare's Antonio said in The Tempest, what is past is prologue. Over the past year, we have been working in a supporting role with school improvement, student support, FMO, and our benefits and compensation committee to improve the following. Our Rookie of the Year ceremony, our welcoming orientation, our new teacher induction and mentoring program was amazing. And if you didn't attend those events, I would just like to say, when we were responsible for those programs, they were not nearly as good as they are right now. And that's kudos to the people in student learning, student support, and those folks that took the lead on those things. They did an absolutely amazing job with that. Big credit to FMO for improving their employees' training and professional development by standing up a custodial training center. This is going to pay dividends for us in the future. Our Benefits and Compensation Committee added work days for additional training to improve the skills of our special education paraprofessionals. So this is going to pay off as well. And the work of our district leaders to improve our district leader training academies, which is vital to the district succession plan and our internal leadership pipeline. These are going to also pay dividends for us in the future. Some look-aheads are some things that I'm really excited about. First and foremost, all the work that is ahead of us, the unforeseen challenges disguised as problems that we will face. But nothing is impossible when we have all these Jedis and wizards that are working for us across our district. I'm really excited about AAU's first cohort of speech-language pathologists, which will complete their studies this coming December. This is an event that's been 10 years in the making, and we're going to have the first bunch of graduates this December, and we're going to be out there with pens and contracts to sign them up. Our CTAE teacher apprenticeship pathway is producing even more homegrown talent as it did this past year, and we're expecting more things out of it in the future. And Brooks has done a great job in making that happen, and he continues to do that. Improving our student services through our weighted staffing plan. This is something that we're going to improve in the future. We know where some weak spots are, and we know where we can improve some of the things that we're looking to do, and it's just going to pay dividends again for us in the future. And within my own division, we're continuing to bring in new talent as you approved tonight. I've got some folks on my staff that are going to receive some promotions. They've been with me for a while, and they've deserved it, so I'm really excited about that. And finally, the HRS information system that we're looking to field, we're halfway through it. We've been working with an Abacus, Slate, and Chisel for the past 15 years, and maybe we'll get some automation in there. We're really going to take off when that happens. So those are just some things I'm really excited about, really looking forward to the work ahead of us. Subject to your questions, that concludes my update.
Excellent update.
I don't know about questions, Mr. Wright. Anybody can go from Shakespeare to Jedis in one presentation.
I am
Deserves a pat on the back.
Thank you.
So I had kind of some notes from last time we talked about staffing last month, and I specifically about the paras. I know from my notes, our last discussion was we had about 80 to 85 para positions, or that said para specifically.
Vacant, that were vacant?
No, that we hire total. And of those, we lose about 80 per year, according to my notes from our last discussion.
No, ma'am, I don't think that's correct. I think our turnover in the professionals, particularly special ed, the ASD, is probably under 20% per year. I could give you an actual count of those. Usually at updates, I'll tell you that we have about 78 or 90 ASD-specific paraprofessionals that we're tracking. Maybe another 50 to 60 interrelated paraprofessionals, and this is off the top of my head, but losing 80 of them would really be a significant problem for us. And it's
right. And that was from a document that I had seen that cited a 90% rate, which kind of seemed to be.
Yeah, that would be a problem.
Okay, so that's not what we're looking at.
No, ma'am. I can give you the exact numbers tomorrow because I track that religiously, and right now we're under 10, and that's under 10 vacancies, probably less than 8 right now. We've been very dogmatic about pursuing these folks. We've made some changes, but we never lose that many in a calendar year.
Okay, so you'd say about 78 to 90 ASD paras?
Still, that's our capacity for those.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more. Sherrod, is that about right? Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. That was
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wright.
He's a tough act to follow because I have no Jedi words of wisdom or Shakespeare for that matter. But I am excited about the school calendar. As you know, preparing for the success of a school year starts way in advance. And because of feedback, like Dr. Flint said, we started this process a little bit later as far as sharing it because we were getting the 2 years confused. So I'm going to present to you what the committee came up with. The process to develop the 27-28 school calendar began back in May. The school calendar advisory team, made up of parents as well as teachers, administrators, and district personnel, met to begin the process of developing the school calendar. Each year we get questions from teachers about the process, As with last year, the teachers on the committee, and we added quite a few this past year, were amazed at how narrow the options are when you really start working backwards and trying to fit in everything that we try to accommodate. Our next step is to get feedback from August 12th, which is tomorrow, until the 21st of August. We will solicit feedback from our parents and staff on the calendar options drafted by the advisory team. I promise when the survey comes, you will see a much larger calendar. This is for our, the slide tonight, but as you know, there are a number of requirements that a school calendar must meet. We provide 180 days of instruction to our students each year, and our teachers must work a minimum of 190 days, with an additional 10 days being for professional development and teacher work days. In addition, we have set federal holidays we observe and seasonal breaks that we provide to our students and staff, as well as at least one early release day each semester for parent conferencing. Traditionally, our district has ended first semester prior to winter break and second semester prior to Memorial Day. With these parameters in mind, the advisory team drafted the three options before you. And I will note too, you'll notice just some, but Memorial Day for this calendar year is later, and spring break is earlier, and it's just by a week, but in a life of a teacher, that break from spring break, or that time from spring break to Memorial Day, can seem like a long time. We added this highlight sheet that you'll see before you now, which makes it easier for stakeholders. We did hear some feedback that trying to look through all three calendars and note the differences can sometimes be a little time consuming. So we added this, I call it a cheat sheet for our stakeholders to look. The differences are shaded in green on this table. At our next board meeting, I will update you on which calendar is preferred, provide any feedback that was supplied to us, and ask for approval for the 27-28 school year. One thing also to note with these calendar additions is, or the options, graduation. That's a little problematic this year because we're not exactly sure of the venue and the date. So we'll see some of the end dates. I think it's option B. They would like to end school on the 19th, which is earlier, but that would require school staff to come after the last day of post-planning to participate in graduation. So those are some things that are just one thing that popped out because graduation is to be determined whether we have it like we have been having it or on a weekend based on the feedback and the venue that we start receiving once we put that out there. If there's not any questions, I'll look forward for 2 weeks from tonight when we will be able to present the findings. But the three options, CCD employees will receive an email with the link and the JOT form to vote beginning tomorrow morning. The same link will be added to our website so that the community can also vote on the calendar options and provide feedback as well. The survey will remain open, as I mentioned, through August the 21st, and we will share the results at the next meeting. So, exciting times. All right, thank you very much.
Any questions for Ms. Jackson? Thank you very much, Ms. Jackson.
Might consider Harry Potter the next time, Ms. Jackson.
All right. Dr. Campbell, advanced placement.
Yes,
Anything going on there?
some great news. You may have already heard it a little bit, but we definitely felt like we wanted to share it with you. So before we get into the data, though, I did want to just give you a quick overview of the Advanced Placement Program for those who may be new to you. But the Advanced Placement Program is offered by a college board, which also administers the SAT. The College Board provides the college-level curriculum, training, and assessments for our teachers and students. AP teachers attend a one-week training course provided by College Board to teach an AP course, and then teachers are provided the college-level resources, and students are provided with college-level textbooks. Students are expected to take the National AP exam the first 2 weeks of May, and scores on the exams are returned in early July. The exam is scored based on a 1 to 5 scale. A score of 3 is considered passing, and 5 is the highest you can score and a difficult score to achieve, but we do have students that do that, quite a few. Based on the college that the student plans to attend, colleges will provide college credit for a score of 3 or higher. Competitive colleges favor students that have taken the most rigorous coursework in their high school, which includes AP. College Board also released research from 2023 that high school students that take 1 to 2 AP classes are more likely to graduate in 4 years from college and obtain a higher GPA because they are prepared for the rigor of the college courses that advanced placement provides. So across our 5 high schools, we offer over 30 AP courses. Most recently, we added 3 additional courses that are noted in green. We added AP Business with Personal Finance, which satisfies the economics graduation requirement. And additionally, we also piloted cybersecurity in 4 of our schools last year, and our students performed very well in those exams. We added AP Cyber Networking for this school year. But the most exciting part is the slide before you. So since 2021, we have increased the number of exams from 3,298 to 5,242, which is a 59% increase in the number of exams administered to our students. Typically, when you have that type of increase in participation, the passing score on the exams can go down. However, in the Columbia County School District, with a 59% increase in participation, the pass rate went from 55%, as you can see there in the red, to 81%, which is a 26% increase in the pass rate. This is unheard of with advanced placement in the advanced placement world. And then our teachers and students didn't just break the 80% mark. And that's as long as I've been keeping data, we have not reached that 80% threshold. This is the first time we've reached that. So out of all of the tests that we gave, 5,242, 81% of those came back with a 3 or higher, which is just incredible for our school district. So, and so we're just very proud of the students and our teachers for meeting that goal. So
Question about that. That's not an increase in the numbers of students that take, but the number of tests taken.
That's correct, the number of actual exams. Right. So you could have a student that takes 4 exams, or you could have a student that takes 1 exam. So we're looking at the total number of exams.
Right.
Yes.
So the way we should read it is some students that maybe wouldn't have taken any or taken some, and then
That's
other
right.
students have taken more exams than they would otherwise have done.
That's exactly right. You can look at it both ways.
Very hard, very
Yes.
rigorous.
Yes.
So we were so excited that during pre-planning, we brought all of the AP teachers across our school district from all 5 high schools to celebrate this momentous achievement. We haven't done that before. And Dr. Flint kicked off the meeting, sharing the data and sharing he has never seen a district achieve this quite as fast as we did. Haven't seen that before. And then we also had the state college board representative speak and share how districts across the state now know about the growth in our AP achievement and want to know what we're doing. So it was really impressive to have her come as a representative of Georgia on College Board and speak. We recognize schools for achieving growth in AP participation and also in student achievement. We concluded the event with 25 door prizes, which included $25 gift cards, compliments of our CCSD Foundation, and a huge cake with just the number 81 on it. So it was a great day. It really was. So during the AP Excellence Awards, we recognize schools for meeting certain criteria. So I do want to take a few minutes to just share with you the specific awards that the schools won in their data. So first, Evans High School won the award for the highest 3-year increase in the percentage of advanced placement exams earning scores of 3 or higher. Evans High School increased their percentage of students scoring 3 or higher by 13% over a 3-year period to 83%. Harlem High School received the award for the highest 3-year increase in total advanced placement exams. Harlem High School increased their total exams by 27% over a 3-year period. Greenbrier High School received 2 awards, the highest percentage of advanced placement exams earning a 3 or higher in 2026, and the highest percentage of students taking at least one AP exam in 2026. Greenbrier had 90% of the exams administered score a 3 or higher, and then 40% of their student population takes at least one AP exam.
Say that again?
Yes, that's quite a bit.
Wait a minute, say that second number again?
At 40%. 40% of their student population takes at least one exam. Yes, yes. So Grovetown High School also received an award for the highest 1-year increase in the percentage of AP exams earning a score of 3 or higher. Grovetown High School increased their percentage of total exams scoring 3 or higher by 6% to 82% in 1 year. And Lakeside High School received the award for the highest 1-year increase in the total number of advanced placement exams. Lakeside High School increased their total exams this past year by 20% in 1 year for a total of 1,518 exams. So we're very appreciative of our AP teachers providing the rigorous instruction and the support needed because we are allowing all students into AP if they feel like they're ready for that rigor. We allow them into the courses. We are most appreciative of our students for taking on the challenge of AP and surpassing expectations. And we know with what they're getting out of this AP program, they're going to be better prepared once they get the diploma and go into their next level of college.
That's great.
All right, yes.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell.
Thank you. And just to kind of wrap this up, just to kind of bring us all and how this fits into the high school experience, we are proud to continue enhancing the Columbia County School District high school experience, which again, AP is one of those. AP is only one part of the high school experience, and our other high school experiences are also growing and excelling. We continue to have more students every year in 8th grade take high school algebra and physical science. We're also increasing the number of CTA pathway opportunities, such as the new one that Mr. Smith has presented on, the Construction Equipment Operator Program. We're also increasing the number of students graduating with dual enrollment credit. Over the past 3 years, there's been a 51% increase in dual enrollment participation in our 5 high schools, which is an incredible number.
So we're increasing in dual enrollment and AP courses.
Yes, that's right. And we're doing both at the same time. That's exactly right. Finally, work-based internships have also significantly increased over the past few years. So we will continue to enhance our high school experience to ensure students are successfully prepared for life after graduation. Thank you.
Good.
One quick question, if you
Thank
don't mind. What are the most popular AP classes, the ones that are most well signed up?
Usually it's going to be the AP English, those courses, AP US History are popular. And so a lot of those because of, getting the college credit, looking at those courses. But definitely AP English and AP US History are very popular courses.
Which ones score the highest generally? Is there a trend where there's a certain AP test that
It can kind of change from year to year, but we've got some courses, what I personally call doable courses. If a kid's a little intimidated by AP, you've got some courses I think that are more approachable than other AP courses. Some of our AP Calc, AP, those are kids who are truly prepared. Where like AP Psychology, AP Government, we had a lot of our 9th graders take AP Government because that's more of something that's more approachable and not as intimidating. So we've had a really good success with those types of courses where students that just don't feel like they're ready, they tip in there and they're like, I can handle this. So.
Can I ask a question as far as the other high schools, the 40%, I think you said was at Lakeside?
Yes.
For student population. What is the average from like the other schools? The population?
I don't want to give you the wrong number. I can provide that to you. I don't know because the board was for the one with the highest participation. If I had to guess, I mean, it's going to be, I would say, in the low 30 range, 30, somewhere in there. I don't want to, I'll give you an exact number.
No, are we finding that having it in 8th grade has really been a great
Yes. What's helped there also?
push for the AP programs in high school?
Yes, because of the 8th and we're offering the AP, the PSAT 8-9M. And that gives them, and in 10th grade also gives them what they call an AP potential report. And it gives students, if based on your score, you have a 60% chance of making 3 or higher on an exam. So it helps identify students that maybe think, well, I'm not ready for AP, but hey, according to your PSAT and you are very likely to score 3 or higher on an exam. Those have been very helpful in finding students that may have been overlooked. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll transition to the pathway framework. So what we've been doing, we've had a team that has been developing our framework for every student to graduate with a pathway. And we know that we've been talking about that for a while. That's a goal of ours. But we pulled a team together to really take a deep dive in how can we make sure that every student has a pathway and that we are preparing them to be successful in that pathway after they get their diploma. So our team has been developing and so that we can support students that where they learn about different pathways and then prepare them to be successful in that pathway post-graduation. It'll take time to implement this framework that we're about to show you, but we know that if we implement this framework, that our graduates will be even more prepared for the next step in life after they receive their high school diploma. I'm going to review the framework, and later in the presentation, Mr. Smith will come forward, and he's going to share the Dream Accelerator opportunity with you, and which will enhance our pathway framework. And then we'll conclude the presentation with Mr. John Hancock, the CEO and President of Georgia Junior Achievement. Okay. So first, the framework we're developing supports the initiatives in House Bill 192, also known as the Top State for Talent Act. The act is a statewide workforce and education initiative to align K through 12 technical colleges, universities, workforce development efforts around the state's highest demand careers. The goal is to ensure students and job seekers have clear pathways into careers that Georgia needs the most. The main components of the bill that relate to K-12 are listed for you. In 6th and 7th grade, students must complete career interest inventories and explore 3 careers. And then in 8th grade, students take an aptitude inventory that's quite different from the career interest inventory. Sometimes a student's interest doesn't always match with their aptitude, which provides some really good opportunities for conversations between students, counselors, teachers, and parents. So based on the career interest inventory and the student aptitude results, students develop an individual college and career plan in collaboration with their parents and counselor. And then in 9th and 10th grade, students complete an additional career interest inventory and aptitude inventory to determine if their college and career plan needs to be adjusted. And then students also will create a Georgia Futures account and explore careers. So that's kind of the minimum of the Top State for Talent Act. So we kind of want to do our spin on it and take it to the next level. So based on our research and the goal of the Top State for Talent, we are planning to brand our initiative in the Columbia County School District, and we would like to call it, What is Your E-Plan? And so students have 3 options. They can enroll, whether it be in a technical college or a university. They could go straight to the workforce and be employed or enlist in the military. And then based on the student's E-Plan, we then have a process of how we will prepare students each year to successfully meet that E-Plan. So on the next slide, what we did was kind of took an inventory of where we are in meeting the Top State for Talent. And currently we use the Junior Achievement Curriculum for K through 5 to inform students about the different roles in the community, state, and nation. And then in middle school, we provide BizTown and Finance Park to learn entrepreneurship, personal finance, but also the different careers within our community. Our middle school counselors also provide detailed pathway information for all pathways offered at our high schools. Each year, all middle school students are provided with a pathway interest survey, which we use, along with some workforce data, to evaluate pathway offerings. In addition, 8th grade students complete the Youth Science Snapshot Aptitude Assessment, as well as the 8th grade Pathway Fair each January, which coincides with our Rising Freshman Night. The College and Career Expo and work-based learning opportunities provide our students with additional experiences to learn about the career opportunities. So as you can see by this chart, we've definitely got some areas that that are going strong, but we've also got just a few areas where we think we can enhance this experience. So this next slide is pretty much the same chart, but you can see you've got several more categories added to it. You can see the curriculum, careers, assessments, counseling, and outcomes. And you can see that we have proposed additional resources and experiences in red. So this plan provides a more comprehensive approach to preparing students for their pathway in high school and ultimately a pathway completer when they graduate. For curriculum, we use Junior Achievement Curriculum in early grades, 6th, 7th, and 12th. For 8th grade, we have an opportunity to provide students with an experience that guides them towards a pathway before entering high school. Junior Achievement provides this opportunity for students to explore their interest and select a career. As you can see, adding the Dream Accelerator for 8th and 10th grade would provide a robust experience for those 2 grades. More information about the specific program will be shared upcoming by Mr. Smith. We also added specific career assessments at each grade level, counselor roles for each grade level, and outcomes at each level. Each student will create an individual career and college plan in 6th grade and continue to develop it until time to graduate. Parents will have access to the career plan and parent portal starting in 6th grade and will be included in the development and implementation of the plan. We believe all of our students will be prepared to confidently take the next step after graduation once we have this framework completely in place. At this time, Mr. Smith is going to come forward and provide you more information about the Dream Accelerator opportunity that we put in 8th and 10th grade.
One question, please. Sure. Bottom line, 8th grade, online ICCP. ICCP.
Yes. Individual college, you know how educators love an acronym. Individual College and Career Plan. That's lingo from the Top State for Talent.
Gotcha.
Yes. And then as you can see, we kind of switch it starting in 9th grade just because of fitting with the E-Plan. The ICCP and the E-Plan would be the same document. We just felt like once we get to high school, we call it, what's your E-Plan? What's your E-Plan?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, good evening. So the Dream Accelerator is the 4th program that's offered by Junior Achievement to prepare students for their future. And we recently had a team from our district that visited Clayton County's Discovery Center to learn more about the program. And Ms. Teasley, you'll be proud that I drove the bus. I was the bus driver for this team that included Mr. Deacle.
It was a rental vehicle.
I'm just proud y'all made it back, Mr. Smith.
I was the bus.
How big was the bus?
I was, it was sort of a bus. It was, I'm calling it a bus. He
Bless
did.
you.
But anyway, so, and Dr. Campbell, Mr. Beatty was with us. Anyway, it was a great experience, and we were, I think, being able to go through this experience sort of as a student to see exactly how this immersive experience was going to play out potentially for our students. It was a great trip. We learned a lot. Next slide. So the Dream Accelerator, since all of you weren't on this amazing bus ride, is an interactive career exploration that focuses on student interest and talents. Most importantly, once students complete the Dream Accelerator experience, they walk away with specific career plans that can be used to help them select pathways in high schools, which will enhance our current process for selecting pathways. And this amazing opportunity for students, this is an amazing opportunity for students, and I'm confident that Columbia County students would benefit for this very immersive experience.
Mr. Smith, you probably should tell the rest of the board not to be alarmed about those iPads, that those are provided by JA. And the picture where you see the iPads, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I didn't want them to think the kids were playing on electronic devices since they're not allowed in class. Those are part of the experience.
And nor did we play on our electronic devices when we went through this.
That is indeed amazing, yes.
We were very attentive.
Good.
We were on task. So it was great to be able to visit the Dream Accelerator in Clayton and see firsthand how students utilize this opportunity to plan for their future careers. This brief video that you're about to watch highlights the Dream Accelerator experience, where students rotate through 7 different stations, starting in the forum.
Where would your students go? The Junior Achievement Dream Accelerator can help them find their path. The JA Dream Accelerator is an immersive, student-centered experience that helps high school students explore career interests, uncover personal strengths, and reflect on the values that shape their lives. Through interactive classroom lessons and a high-tech, hands-on simulation, students identify meaningful career pathways, understand real-world lifestyle costs, and connect with an entrepreneurial mindset, all while developing a personalized vision for their future. In the classroom, students begin by identifying key character traits like adaptability, confidence, resilience, and initiative. They reflect on the types of work environments and roles that fit their interests. They explore careers by examining job responsibilities, salary ranges, education requirements, and related skills. They connect their interests, strengths, and values to potential career paths and begin to understand why those paths matter to them. Next, students learn the difference between an entrepreneur and an entrepreneur and explore the characteristics needed for success in each role, including creativity, problem solving, perseverance, and risk-taking. Along the way, they discover how personal character connects to teamwork, community impact, and responsible decision-making. Using real-world business scenarios, students practice how to stand out in a competitive market and learn the fundamentals of a market economy, including choice, competition, private property, profit motive, and limited government involvement. Now prepared to explore, students visit the JA Dream Accelerator and experience 6 interactive stations. Picture Your Strengths helps students understand how their unique qualities can lead to passion-driven careers. The Visionary Station introduces students to entrepreneurs whose career paths align with their own interests and goals. Reality Check allows students to explore the real-world costs of their desired lifestyle and see how those expenses compare to different career options. Entrepreneurial Mindset immerses students in business scenarios, helping them weigh risks and rewards while building decision-making skills. Visualization is an interactive mural that uses augmented reality to inspire students to think about their future goals and biggest aspirations. Finally, the SMART Goals Station empowers students to transform self-discovery into action by creating focused, measurable, and time-bound goals that build a meaningful path toward future success.
Back in the classroom, students reflect on their experience and begin creating a personalized roadmap for their future. JA provides comprehensive resources to support learning before and after the visit, guiding students through a process to identify, research, refine, and pursue their goals. What makes the JA Dream Accelerator truly unique is how it transforms exploration into action. Students don't just dream, they plan, reflect, and take the first steps toward their future. By blending self-discovery with real-world insight, the program empowers students to make informed decisions, set clear goals, and move forward with confidence. It's more than a one-time experience. It's a launchpad for lifelong growth, purpose, and possibility. Students across Georgia are becoming more prepared than ever to step into the real world.
So this next slide shows how the Dream Accelerator would fit in the journey that we're already working to provide our students as they make their plan for their future after they graduate from Columbia County Schools. So you can see starting in the 6th and 7th grade, as Dr. Campbell already mentioned, we do two things actually. We have the Georgia Futures career interest surveys that are provided, and we couple that with our own pathway interests that are the specific pathways that we offer at our 5 high schools. So they do that in the 6th and 7th grade, and then in the 8th grade, they do an aptitude inventory, and of course we have our pathway fair as well in the 8th grade. And this is where we feel that the Dream Accelerator, with this immersive experience where students are able to then take and say, what is it that I would be able to do with my talents, and they're able to actually develop a plan where they get those plans results, and they put all of that together, and we feel that that's going to really help them to build their schedule with the pathway in their high school, whether it's fine arts, whether it's CTAE, whether it's the AP that you heard that we do such an amazing job of in Columbia County Schools, or if it's dual enrollment, whatever it may be, that all of these things in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, especially if we're able to add this experience, are really going to help our students to be informed as they plan what they're going to do in high school. The really nice thing about this is that if a student, whether it's in an AP class or whether it's in a CTA fine arts class, kind of wants to pivot, of course there's time to tweak that plan as they're building this plan, and when they go back into 10th grade, we feel like experience the Dream Accelerator again, they'll be able to sort of make some adjustments, and then maybe that will help inform where they may want to do an internship in the 11th and 12th grade. So all of these things will work together on the journey that we want to provide our students as they build their plan for the future. Now, Dr. Campbell's going to talk about how we can bring this amazing opportunity to the students in Columbia County Schools.
I just want to add to what Mr. Smith was saying, is they leave there with a report that shows them the SMART goals, and then that is given to the teachers, and they get the goals that every student has set and the career interests that they've selected during the experience. And so that goes to the teachers and then goes to the counselors, and then that can follow them all the way up through high school. And of course, they can always go back and change it, as Mr. Smith said.
Is it somewhere where parents can see it as well?
Yes, absolutely. It will become part of their ICCP, or their, also known as the E-Plan. That's what the plan is. So I'm sure at this point you're probably wondering, where in the world would this thing go? But what we're saying is that the Dream Accelerator, the equipment stations could be installed in the unoccupied room adjacent to the CSRA Discovery Center. Behind the Lady A stage frame, there's approximately 3,200 square feet that is part of the unused space in the warehouse. The room has 4 walls and an exterior exit that would only be used in emergencies. The district would provide the shell, and the vendor that installs the Dream Accelerator interactive simulators that were also highlighted in the video. So it would be the exact same simulators that you saw in the video. So the Dream Accelerator would be funded by a partnership between the school district and the Junior Achievement Funding partners. The school district would provide up to $1.3 million towards installation, which is available in the curriculum and instruction budget for the 26-27 school year. Each year when we start the budget process, funds are allocated for new textbooks and resources adoptions, which can range from between $1 to $4 million depending on the subject. For this school year, we are not scheduled to adopt a new district-wide textbook, which allows funding for the Dream Accelerator. We're requesting approval for up to $1.3 million of our curriculum and instruction funds to be used to fund the Dream Accelerator simulators. JA funding partners would provide up to approximately $700,000 additional dollars to complete the project for an overall cost of approximately $2 million. And at this time, I'd like to welcome Mr. John Hancock, the COA and President of the Junior Achievement of Georgia, to share more information with you.
Welcome back, Mr. Hancock.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Chairman Deacle, it's nice to see you, sir, and be back with you and with your board team. I've had the pleasure of working with, I think, Ms. Allen, you're the only member of the board I haven't had a chance to meet, so it's a pleasure to meet you this evening, and nice to see everybody else. I guess it's been, how long has it been, Dr. Flint, since we opened the Discovery Center? 2.5? I can't remember, it's 2.5 or 3.5. Anyway, it's nice to see so much continuity on the board. That was a great project, and we're going strong with that. In my role as CEO of the organization, I'm responsible for the overall leadership and management of the organization, and that includes working with the highest levels of school leadership, superintendents and their cabinets, and boards of education to explore ways that we can help you, for the resources we have, achieve your strategic objectives. And we're proud to be a partner with the district. I've said this to Dr. Flynn on a couple of different occasions. I work with many different school systems, boards, and superintendents, and at the risk of sounding casual, this is one dialed-in school district, and I have a lot of respect and affection for what happens in this county. As a refresher, and maybe new information for some of you, Junior Achievement is a 106-year-old organization. We exist to, like I just said, provide resources and solutions to school systems, help them be better at what they do. Your institution is large, it's complex, there's a lot of constituents. Our organization is relatively simple, and we're really good at a limited number of things that we can offer to you. When you think about content, we are experts in the areas of career exploration, entrepreneurship, financial literacy, business, work readiness, those kinds of things that seem to be becoming more and more important to school systems, and certainly feed the workforce need narrative that is so prominent in our state. And from a pedagogy standpoint, we are experts at experiential learning, both in school and out of school experiences, content, programs, experiences, frameworks that connect business to school and school to business. We make no bones about it, and I talk openly with educators and friends that we think there needs to be more of that, and we pursue that work, and we're good at that work. We've had relationships with the Columbia County School District over the years. More recently, we've just referred to the opening of the Discovery Center a few years ago. I'll long remember the first call I took from Dr. Flint in the summer of '21. We are all still kind of trying to figure out COVID and coming out of that. He had recently arrived here from Gwinnett, where we had put together a Discovery Center project some years ago, and he said, hey, I've got a building that might work, and we have a school system that is moving forward with a growth mindset, and perhaps this might be a concept that would work. I came out right away within days, and the rest is history. And not only the Discovery Center programs, but as Dr. Campbell alluded to, lots of day content and programming at lots of different grade levels. So we're proud of our partnership, and we are hopeful that the Dream Accelerator can be an extension of what we've done. The Dream Accelerator, I'm going to use this language very, very specifically, stacks very nicely with the Discovery Center on top of the BizTown program for 6th graders, the Finance Park program for 7th graders. Most junior achievement programs are developed for a grade level. Maybe you go up a grade or down a grade. The Dream Accelerator is probably the most versatile program we've ever created, because as you heard, it can be used at a couple of different grade levels, even with some years between. And so we're excited about the possibility of not only bringing it for one grade level, but perhaps a couple in serving the larger initiatives you all have around education tracking and career tracking for the students. So I'm here this evening to say hello, to reinforce our interest in the partnership and growing it, and to field any questions along with Dr. Flint, Dr. Campbell, and Mr. Smith that the board may have. So I appreciate the time, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hancock. The, am I interrupting? Okay.
Oh, yeah, got a few questions.
Before we undertake motions, let's ask the questions you have right now.
Is that okay? Yeah. My question is, because we're a growing county and we have a lot of military moving in and out, how do you catch them up? Should they come in at a grade that missed? Is it easy to catch them up? Would you take them in and let them go in ninth grade or whatever grade with another group?
That's the things we still got to work out. But absolutely, we would want anybody at the high school to have that experience,
Right.
so that we can make sure that we're developing a career plan that is based on the type of information we would give from Accelerator.
Okay, so you may let them go with someone else. The other thing is,
I think about that in the terms of capacity. So, because we operate the program, and so how many days can we have students in the space, and how many of those days get eaten up by the core program? There would be a balance of days where you could do some catch up.
Okay.
And that might look different in different kinds of ways. But actually, it's an interesting question I hadn't really even considered. But if there's a desire for catch up, there's capacity for catch up.
okay, because I wouldn't want someone to not benefit from the program. The other thing is software update. I mean, it looked really, advanced. How often? What is the cost of? How long does the software last, or how dated is it?
You could see in the pictures just that the technology is like unbelievable, and it's interactive and touch screens, and it's the most impressive educational experience I've ever seen from a technology standpoint. There are guts inside. We have an outside contractor who has built it. It's the same folks who built the Spy Museum in Washington, D.C., and have done some of the interactives with the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta. So really competent people. This would be on Junior Achievement's dime, not on yours. Once we get up and running, we pay a fee to them on an annual basis. If something goes down, we're on the phone with them, and they're helping us out with that. In terms of just renewal and refreshing, we typically cycle on every three-year cycle around, updating things, or if we want to change out some of the entrepreneurs, for example, that are represented. We do have a lot of diversity with those entrepreneurs, and we also want to have as many local people highlighted as possible. So there's some customization that can happen as well.
That was my third question is like how Georgia specific is it, like career-wise? They're a big ag business state. Is that embedded into the program?
Very much so, and again, we can customize those based on location. Sometimes when we think about people that we want to highlight in some of the different stations that Dr. Campbell referred to, sometimes we go with like the big-time CEOs and the people who have made it all the way to the top. Well, there's very interesting sectors of our economy that we would want to highlight. Younger entrepreneurs, people in fields that maybe don't get recognized as much. And one of our entrepreneurs is actually a farmer who grows onions, so that's like an example. We really want to show that breadth of what the economy is.
Great, thank you.
This is a question for Dr. Campbell. You say 8th grade and 10th grade. Every 8th grader and every 10th grader would go through the Dream Accelerator.
That's correct. What's different?
How many students is that?
Well, that's a good question. What's different between the 6th and 7th grade is that's an all-day program, and this one is a half-day program. And so what we're looking at is for each day, 2 classes, which would be about 56 kids, and that's what we would need the capacity for around that, just because of class size of 28, so 2 a day.
Well, district-wide, how many 8th graders do we have, and how many 10th graders do we have?
Yeah, 200 per grade level. Yeah.
Say again?
4,200.
4,200. So
4,200.
Yeah, so we would be exposing 4,200 students per year to the Dream Accelerator.
Yes.
Okay.
And it would be all 8th grade.
8th grade, that would be 10th grade.
That's just 1 grade level.
Oh, that's 1 grade level?
So there.
All right. So it'd be 8,000.
Yes, total.
Let's get clarification on that. I'm confused.
It's about 2,500, so we're talking about 5,000, around 5,000.
5,000.
2,500 per grade for 8th grade and for 10th grade.
All right.
Is there a classroom component to the Dream Accelerator?
Yes.
Like there is Park and Finance?
Yes, and part of the video showed that, but yes, the teachers will do, and in conjunction with the counselors, they'll have activities that they do, so they don't just go blindly into what are we going to today. There are activities that they were built in that they do prior to going to the Dream Accelerator.
Are any of the options that they see on the Accelerator, the interactive part, are any of those local? I mean, like how much of it would be applicable to the CSRA market where they live?
Yeah, like I was saying, we can do some customization there, Ms. Teasley, in terms of highlighting local entrepreneurs, local, particular businesses or careers, military, for example. Some of those things that we see more prominently here. For those of you who are familiar with J Biztown and J Finance Park, good news on the Dream Accelerator, no less impactful, but a little bit lighter lift for schools and for teachers. You're looking at about 15 hours of in-class content in the case of Biztown Finance Park. Here, there's a couple of lessons. It might be a couple of hours that kind of set the context for the experience. And then the simulation experience itself on site is just about 2 hours. That compares to 4 hours in the case of J Biztown and J Finance Park. So a really like world-class, state-of-the-art kind of an experience, but not a massive lift, frankly, for schools.
Volunteers, how many do you need, or will it?
Yeah, we talked about the stations, and there are 6 stations. In an absolutely ideal world, you'd have 1 per. But what we've learned is you can play a little zone defense. Sometimes you can get away with 3 because a volunteer can handle a couple of different stations. The space is compact enough to do that. And because the experience, unlike Biztown and Finance Park, which there's a lot going on in those programs, and this is like individual experience. So a student isn't so much doing work with other students. It's really pretty interactive with the technology. So there's a lot of this happening, and just less for the volunteer have to kind of rein in and shepherd. And so sometimes few volunteers can work as well. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Dr. Flint, what kind of motion do you recommend?
I can wait till the motion.
You have a question?
Go ahead, Katie, I'll go for you.
No, I'll wait till the motion, and I'll pose my questions during the discussion of the motion.
All right.
I think you heard this a little bit in the presentation, but what we'd like to do, because we do have to build it, is to recommend approval up to $1.3 million with junior achievement taking care of the rest up to the $2 million. And as it comes in less than that, that would be rebated back to each 50-50. So hopefully it would be a little more of a savings, and we're overshooting that, but we wanted to go ahead and get it to the maximum so we'd be able to get the project completed without coming back. And did I state that correctly? John, from
Okay,
your
well,
areas.
I'll make a motion that we approve up to $1.3 million out of the curriculum and instruction budget to partner with JA to develop a Dream Accelerator in Columbia County. That's my motion.
Second.
All right, any discussion?
Sure, I'll open up with, kind of categorize my questions and concerns under operational, financial, and conflicts. So beginning with operational, we had a meeting a while ago, and there was an email I had sent April 17th to Dr. Flint. We'd had a bit of a discussion about this. And we had discussed at a meeting prior to that we were having a hard time finding volunteers just for the JA Biz Center. And so the fact that we would have to add 3 to 6 more volunteers on a regular basis, I would like to see some way to kind of address that preemptively before we move forward with that decision. Also, from the financial aspect, I understand $1.3 million doesn't seem like a lot, but given that we have transferred $20 million over from the general fund to the building program just recently here to do general maintenance items like painting and HVAC and drinking fountains and things that I consider routine, the fact that we had to transfer $20 million to cover even those routine items makes me concerned. And then the fact that we approved a general fund budget at a $40 million deficit, I don't think I'm concerned about our financial picture. To me, it seems to be deteriorating. So I don't think now is a good time to go spend another $1.3 million. as fantastic as this opportunity looks, I just think this year is not the year to do it, given our current financial position based on the financial decisions we made just recently here when we passed the budget. So those are the financial concerns, conflicts. I placed this in my email, Dr. Flynn. I still do have concerns that what month were you appointed to the JA Board of Directors? And it was recently, was it this year?
I believe it was September of 2025.
September 2025. So I'm not quite comfortable with the closeness of that relationship and then the conversations of bringing the Dream Accelerator over, given that you sit on the JA Board of Directors. So I would say before I would feel comfortable moving forward with this project, I would want to see a few things. Well, one more concern, setting kids on a career path in 8th grade, I think it's fantastic, but equally I do think it carries some risks because, for example, Dr. Ben Carson, I'm familiar with him, right? I've read a book, Gifted Hands. His brother was placed on a career path, a technical path early in high school. His mother got involved, put him back in the academic courses. He ended up becoming an engineer and doing wonderful things in life. Now, my husband, electrician, technical courses all the way. So I'm not saying one is better, worse, right, or wrong. I'm just saying there are risks when we place students too early on one particular career path, and it seems like this is really designated for that. So some of the things that I would like to see before I'm comfortable moving forward are, one, I would like to see the number of participants we have currently in our Discovery Center. How many are participating on a regular basis year by year now that we've had it for a number of years? I'd like to see what are our participation numbers for the center that we do have. Are they increasing? Are they stable? Are they decreasing? I've also heard rumors we're losing some of our partners with that project, so I think maybe waiting and seeing what happens with that would be prudent. Second of all, I would like to see stats for Clayton County and other counties with Dream Accelerators. I would like to see their costs in terms of operational costs for money, also their costs in volunteer time over the course of their years. And I would like to see data that strongly supports that having a Dream Accelerator directly improves outcome for students in some sort of measurable statistical way. And then I would also like to see it for our Discovery Center to see, hey, we brought this in, it cost us, what, $3.4 million to bring in our last Discovery Center. I'd like to see our stats that say, and here's how we know it was successful for our students. And then the last thing I would like to see is some sort of plan to balance the greatness of putting children on a career path to let them explore their options, but also balancing that with the idea that they are young, they change their minds, and we would hate to tie them into one path and then build a whole high school career plan off of it, and then all of a sudden they change their minds halfway through or even afterwards and feel like they were kind of put on a path when they were very, very young based on experiences such as this. So I see some great potential things here. It's very exciting. Everything you showed us looked like something we'd all maybe want to try in life, but I do want to balance it, and I would like some more information for us to look over and consider before we move forward with this purchase.
Yeah, I agree with Mr. Chairman. A lot of what Ms. Allen said. First of all, I think that there's a lot of great principles in this thing, and Mr. Hancock, thanks for coming in. It means a lot that you came here first when we talk about this. And me personally experiencing that was really awesome. I want this for our school system at some point, but I share a lot of the same concerns that Ms. Allen has. Most of it's monetary. I mean, this board has made a decision in priorities in a pretty aggressive building program, as you may be aware. And it's expensive. And since we've prioritized ourselves in that area, I think it limits us on additional spend in other areas, particularly great things like this. I wish that I could really get behind, 100%. So let there be no mistake. I think this thing was phenomenal and it's impressive. I think it can be tailored probably. Sounds like it can be. It sounds like there's some flexibility built in if you do change career paths. I don't have such a concern there that Ms. Allen has. It's more monetary, but like the principles of limited government, free market capitalism. I mean, that's one of the first things I noticed when I walked in the room, and I love it. Okay? Unfortunately, I'll be a little redundant here. We sort of prioritize ourselves in other areas of spending, and don't see how we can do this year responsibly. But again, I think those are my comments for now.
Thank you, Mr. Kent.
Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to point out that I think I can't think of a better way to spend instructional dollars. A $1.3 million investment for 5,000 students to be exposed to this a year. When we do a book adoption, we're spending millions of dollars for books.
2 to 4 million.
2 to 4 million.
The ELA adoption was about 4 million.
And how long do those books, we do that, what, every 7 years?
Try to do it every 7, yes.
This is $1.3 million for 7 years. That's 35,000 students being exposed and finding their career paths, which is required by state law. And it's going to involve this top-tier, state-of-the-art technology. And the teachers are going to have access to the information. The parents are going to have access to the information. And more than anything, the student, a light bulb might come on in their head. I can think of no better investment in our curriculum instruction dollars than something like this in a year where we're not doing a book adoption. And this is money already in a budget passed by this board. So that's my response.
I would like to add just a couple more comments. One, just as a reminder, again, $1.3 million, I'm glad we saved money in the curriculum and instruction budget, but I would still think something to consider is putting that back towards that $40 million deficit that we approved in the budget. So just because we saved somewhere, I think we're in no position to go spend it somewhere else, given the budget we just approved. And as a reminder, our bond and interest debt is somewhere in the ballpark of $450 million with payments already until 2045. And so given that we keep transferring from our general fund to cover some of these things with the building program that we've really heavily invested in, again, that goes right back to we need to start making decisions. We can't just continue to keep spending money because we'll find ourselves in a further financial hole, if you will. I would say also, students have found career paths long before this technology. They found them in our school district last year and the year prior. I think even without this great technology, they're going to continue to find career paths. And we have amazing instructors. We have amazing teachers, a fantastic CTAE program. I think we're at no risk of our students not finding career paths given the wonderful district opportunities they have. So I would just ask, have we made any construction or modifications to any existing buildings? Have we taken any steps or done anything at this time, Dr. Flynn, to bring this Dream Accelerator in? At this point, this is not invested in any way, are we, at this point? Just to make sure.
The building where we're putting this, we will be using that one way or the other. And so currently when we did the warehouse, we did some of the installation and sheetrock area. But if this doesn't go there, then we would use it either as the warehouse storage or possibly an additional conference room, because we're having some challenges now, especially when we do advanced voting over in that area in limiting us from using the current space we have. So, one way or the other, we'll probably go in that direction or bring something back to you, but nothing specifically to the Dream Accelerator other than the work that we've already done to go visit, things like that.
So then we did the warehouse, it was just for the warehouse. So just to clarify, are you saying we did spend some money when we did the warehouse to prepare for a potential Dream Accelerator, or no?
To prepare the room for anything that's going to go in there next.
Okay. Is there any way we can wait a month until we have some of these statistics and questions answered? And this is our first true discussion on this that I've been a participant in. Is there any way we could postpone this or table this for a future meeting so that we can have some time to process all this information and look at our options?
We can make a motion if you like.
If I may.
Yes, ma'am.
I would agree with you wholeheartedly that we have wonderful teachers and staff. But you seem to think that we don't need anything else, but I'd like to point out that we have a graduation rate that's 92, 93%. So we still have some 7% that are not graduating. Not that I'm proud to mention that, but research shows us that students that have a goal, even if it's not the goal they will eventually follow when they graduate, are more apt to graduate than those without a goal. So even if they identify the wrong goal in junior achievement through the Dream Accelerator, that is going to help them reach graduation and walk across that stage in May. So if that helps the 7%, I would love to see us get to 100% graduation rate.
I join you in that, Ms. Hughes. I think that's an excellent point. So if you can bring me some sort of stat that says this Dream Accelerator equates to a 2 or 3% graduation increase, I think that would really do a lot to make me consider this, because I'm with you. I want that 100% legitimately, of course, but we want our students graduating and having goals and doing great things. So again, I just go right back to, I would love some information and statistics, because we brought in our, our JA BizTown, and it was for the same purposes. I would like to see those stats to see what that's done for our students, and a direct connection of, we've spent the money, we brought this in for $3.4 million, and here's the direct results from that. So things like that just, I think, help with these major decisions.
We brought in JA BizTown for the purpose of helping with personal financial literacy. And while not all AP courses include personal financial literacy, I don't think we can deny the fact that that has somewhat helped the AP situation. I mean, they have to be getting help through AP, if nothing else, feeling better about where they're going. So I don't think you can say that there's not some connection there. Now, that might be a specificity with which you'd like to see the data, but I think there's some data there.
Well, I mean, I just leave it back to, I would like to table this until we receive some of those stats and some more information, especially because this is the first time we've really, truly had a meeting discussion on this.
Would you like to make a motion?
Can I make a motion within the motion, or do we have to close this one out, Chairman Eagle?
No, you can make a motion to table.
All right, I motion to table this until we've received some more information about the programs. I'll just leave it open like that.
I'll second with you.
All right, all in favor of the motion to table, raise your right hand. All opposed, raise your right hand. Motion to table fails, 3-2. All right, the main motion is still on the floor.
Do we have
Any further discussion?
Yeah, I have a question. Do we have any information from Clayton County, the success of this? Do you have any statistics or how many programs are there out, have the Dream Accelerator in the nation, in the state of Georgia, and how do y'all judge success?
Yeah. So the Dream Accelerator was created by the JA chapter in Denver. Goes back a couple, 3 years now. It has been replicated 3 times. Y'all will be pioneers with us in this work. We do have some statistics around teacher satisfaction, correlation to school strategy, student experience. More coming, though, Ms. Baker, out of Denver than coming out of Clayton, because we just opened in Clayton in February. So happy to provide that information for you. I want to encourage the district, and Dr. Flint and I have talked about this, and educators always talk about this. What is it that you can specifically measure in any one experience that doesn't get confounded with everything else that's happening academically, sports, family, etc. What I do know is when you look at the objectives of what this is, the content of what it is, it aligns very closely with not only in Columbia County, but across the state, with what districts are trying to do and the kind of content they're trying to expose young people to in all the stuff that we've talked about, and your profile of graduate, it syncs with all of that. Ms. Allen, I hear all the time from donors, which in this case you guys would be a donor, right? wanting information about can we prove that a Biztown experience or a finance park experience did this or did that, or when I'm 40 years old, am I more likely to have more money in a 401k? Those are kinds of, and not that you asked something that specific, but those are kinds of measures that are harder for us to provide because, again, there's so many, I'm not a statistician, but there's so many confounding factors. It's difficult to isolate. So I believe that we've been invited to put the first two programs in place and potentially then this third one because of alignment and correlation with what you're trying to accomplish with your major strategic initiatives.
I'd say, Mr. Hancock, I agree with you that because there are so many factors, it's difficult to make that direct connection, but then I would say the same equally applies for the inverse, that it's equally difficult to make the connection that there is success because of all those confounding factors. But maybe you have the statistic or an approximate guess of, do you know by any chance offhand what percent alignment there is between students going through Dream Accelerator and picking a career path and 10 years down the line being skilled and working in that career path?
We don't, because it's a relatively new program, even in Denver, where it's the oldest.
Okay.
But we will, in time, certainly be able to have that kind of data, particularly per these reports that Dr. Campbell mentioned. We'll go back to school and we'll travel with the students as they move through their 9-12 experience.
Which I'm not sure if that is a fair analogy. I have two boys that are CPAs that went to UGA, got their masters, and neither one work as public accountants anymore. Both have their own careers. I went to, if you don't know my history, I grew up in Clemson, was a great academic person. Books were not my favorite thing, but anything interactive was. I was a science person, went to Greenville Tech, got my associate in physical therapy assistant, and then went back and got my bachelor's in nursing. So the hands-on and having to learn, not everyone's going to know. I changed two careers. My boys did it, so I don't think you can predict. It's just a guideline to help people maybe figure out what they don't. I have therapists, we have nurses that come in and they hate the field after 5 years and go do something else. So I think, as far as sticking to something, we're going to see kids change. They're going to change minds. I think it's a great guideline for parents. I think it opens the door for conversation. I think it's interactive for them. As a student, I might have made a career choice if I had been given this opportunity. For myself.
It is an important clarification that the goal of the program is not to set students on a path. It is to help them explore the multiple paths that are available and begin to connect interests and aptitude and personal strengths to some of those potentials. I would have no doubt that when what are we talking again? We're talking 8th and 10th, right? That there'll be a lot of changes happening between 8th and 10th, but it's the acceleration that is where the value lies.
It just gets 8th graders thinking about careers, thinking about CTA pathways in high school to make that decision, and they're open to the notion of career in the future. That is a job well done.
Even to correlate what classes they and their parents may decide they take based on potential different career options.
I'd have that.
So how specific does it get? Because I know when I took a career aptitude test, I got pegged in high school as a school principal, and I ended up being an Arabic linguist in the Army and working in Intel. So I mean, certainly, and then a whole different direction from there. So how is an Arabic linguist with the TS clearance in the Army, is that a career
Not on the
option in
list.
Dream Accelerator?
Yeah.
I mean,
It might be, but again, it doesn't, excuse my casual language, it doesn't spit out a suggestion or this is your path, like some of the instruments I would have taken too when I was young. By the way, I was told that I would be, what would be the equivalent of like a butler at the King and Queen's castle because I'm organized in particular, I guess. But it doesn't do that. It's more assessing interests and aptitudes and beginning to explore those across a variety of different options, not necessarily landing on one thing specifically.
So I guess fundamentally then, how is it that much different other than being interactive and, much cooler to say? How is it fundamentally, as for the purpose of it, different than the surveys that our students already take that are computer-based, that assess strengths, weaknesses, potential career paths, things such as that.
What I'll tell you, what we went to on the field trip day is the interactive part is the difference. We give a survey based on counselors going in and saying, these are the 5 or 6 pathways at the high school they're going to, and they just kind of give them a broad overview, and then they just take a survey. Where this is, when they go in there, they have a whole thing of what I like and what I miss, a bunch of different questions of what I like, what I don't like, and then based on that, it creates some, like I was saying, just some ideas of these are possibly some areas that you need to look at. And then at the next section, it goes to some pioneers that are specific to that particular pathway and looking at seeing what they did. And then it looks at like the salary, that if this is what you're thinking about, this is the salary you get, but tell us what kind of lifestyle you want, and do the two match. And sometimes the students will go, based on what we're told, the students will go back and say, all right, my lifestyle doesn't match what I just identified. And then, in the end, what I think is the most important is that they're setting goals. If you have identified, you've gone through these stations, and you've set a goal, all right, this is what I want to do, I want to be a teacher. What is your, and you're an 8th grader, what should be your next steps for my 9th grade year? What should be my next steps even for the next week or 2 weeks? And they're setting specific goals. And then that is what's given to a teacher, and then that teacher can have some really good conversations, and of course the counselor. And so it's just facilitating that much more in depth and more interactive than just taking a survey. Not that there's anything wrong with the survey. The survey gives us interest based on what's going on in that particular high school they're going to, but this gives them a broader perspective, and it's just more interactive of the type of information we can get. And I do like it that we can go back, and because kids, I mean, even with work-based learning, kids change their minds. Even in 11th grade, they're like, I went to that work-based learning, and we work with them to change their career goal before they get that diploma. So there's stop points all the way through the process that we're putting in place to where kids can change what they want to do. So I just think it's more interactive than just the survey that we give. And hopefully some richer data that we get.
I just have one more final question. I thank the board for their patience. Has this been adjusted to factor in AI's effect on careers for the next 5 to 10 years? Because certainly AI is changing the career fields, as we all know. Does this software, does the product factor that in, that it will not be suggesting careers and paths that are likely to be replaced by AI in the near future?
Do you think there are any careers that won't be affected by AI?
Well, some will go away.
Yeah, it's an interesting question that would deserve some consideration. I don't know if I have a satisfactory answer. The experience tends to be a little bit more high level than to get into that, but you make a point that we certainly wouldn't want to be exposing young people to careers that aren't going to exist. And so, noted, we can dig a little bit on that. I don't anticipate being an issue, but I do appreciate the filter.
I wouldn't expect you to have an answer to that question.
No.
Nobody really has an answer to that question,
No.
to be honest. My concerns, again, are really fiscally or monetarily. And I know we're talking about estimates here, but in your opinion, Mr. Hancock, if you would, of that 1.3 million, what realistic, I'm not holding you to it right now, but realistic, what do you think you could do it for? Your portion, just your portion.
I don't understand the question.
The Accelerator. Your portion of the Accelerator.
They're proposing
above and beyond the
to pay
one-
up to $700,000.
Right, but to put the Accelerator in, $100,000, sorry, I didn't read it. You're right, I didn't word that right. We say 1.3, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, in your opinion, it would cost us to put that in there?
Well, I
Do you think 1.3 is the right number? Do you think it's 1? Do you think it's closer to 800 or 900? In your
I think the total cost is closer to what was presented, which was $2 million,
Right,
which requires the combination of the 1.3 plus the 7. Dr. Flint spoke about the possibility of bringing that down. I think we're probably at $2 million within a 5 to 8% error factor one way or the other.
What do you think of our portion, is what I'm getting at? That 1.3, do you think our portion is a realistic number? I know the whole thing is $2 million, right?
Yeah.
Are we the ones that are sort of saying, hey, we'll provide more, and you're and Jay's at 700,000, no budgeting? And if that's true, where do you see us, sort of sitting realistically? Is it more $1 million? Is it more $900,000?
It's $1.3 million.
So
that's why we put $1.3 million. I don't know if I'm answering your question.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
It's okay.
No, wait, you're asking, is it gonna go over 1.3, or is that the drop dead number?
Well, it sounded like we were going a little over, right, Dr. Flint, that we kind of built in some extra dollars?
Oh, I see, because you said, because Mr. Kennedy talked about up to 1.3.
You built in some dollars to be safe. I want to, if there's any way that maybe you, from your perspective, you built these before, is that 700,000 for JA a hard figure for JA? Like, that's the number? And is the flexibility on our side, where maybe it's $1 million, maybe it's $900,000?
I think the total 2 million cost is probably within, again, like I said, there might be a little wiggle room there, like 5%. The other area, and Dr. Flint and I have talked about this, that there could be some opportunity. I hesitate to bring it up, only because I don't want to get hopes up. But this is a proposal that we're suggesting gets done between the two organizations, which means money you have and money we have. There is a charitable element to this which we will pursue. We're going to go out into the philanthropy marketplace in the next 6 months and see if we can attract some dollars. I think that's possible. If we did, as Dr. Flint said, then the total expense for the two institutions proportionately comes down.
You're saying proportionally?
50/50.
Got it.
50, yeah.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
All right, well,
Let's call the question.
call for the question. All in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. All opposed, raise your hand. The motion passes 3-2. Thank you very much, Mr. Hancock, for coming down and answering questions posed. Thank you for your partnership and all the work you do for the students of Columbia County.
Thank you, board members, and we hope to be bringing back to you additional information that'll continue to answer some of those questions that we had. Let's move on to the contract for services, CSRA RESA. Each year, we enter into an agreement with the CSRA RESA to provide services to help provide professional learning services, collaborative planning workshops, and endorsements for staff. Before you is an annual contract for membership fees and services through the CRSA RESA. We'd like to recommend renewing this contract for membership and services in the amount of $178,750. This is a small reduction of just over $8,000 over last year's budget.
At Envision Education and Orientation Mobility, that's special ed training.
Yeah, let me ask, just so I don't get it wrong, I don't have that right in front of me, but Ms. Gray, can you make sure that we're answering that?
Yes, those vision orientation and mobility services for our special education students.
Thank you. Who recommend?
Do we have a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Any discussion?
Have we always done the vision education and orientation mobility in addition to the membership cost, or is that new this year?
No, we have been participating in vision services for the last couple of years with, or getting support from RESA for vision services, and orientation and mobility upwards of about 15 years. So it's been a long-standing support area that they have provided for us.
And by law, we are required to pay RESA dues, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess if a board didn't, I don't know that it's a legal requirement, but we get more back from them because they're funded from grants from the General Assembly and DOE. But I don't know that it's, we have to approve it. You could probably not, but the value of $178,000, we're getting a lot more than that because they are actually receiving funding for many of these initiatives, and one might be, I don't want to go away without getting to that, but one this year was around the literacy coaches, and just this year, we haven't even gone into full implementation of that, but we're going to be getting at least one full-time and then another support staff that'll be supporting in those areas that will help us to implement that program. Just one example.
Yes, we have literacy support directly from them that comes down through House Bill 1193 and from the state to our local literacy
to our local RESA, and then the RESA assigns individuals to us, and we have 3 particular individuals assigned to us for that support.
And there'd be a couple of areas, Ms. Jackson, in your area that we would probably be required to pay for because there are some appeal efforts that's required out of us, that the appeal would go directly to the RESA, and they'd have to be the arbiter for that decision, and we would have to pay them for doing that. But I just want to make sure we're clear that I wasn't misrepresenting that. So.
Yes. And this is not, this, at the moment, it's literacy endorsements. In the past, it's been like ESOL endorsements. It's whatever the General Assembly is so inclined to demand in legislation, and we all have, teachers need endorsements, and then they typically are a good source to provide them.
Yeah, and it's not just that the state's requiring that, but it's a very good example, Ms. Teasley, because gifted and EL endorsements provide our teachers an opportunity to get that certification where we're able to get the funding back from the QB formula.
Right.
And as we talk about the weighted staffing formula, that allows us to actually receive additional funding and we use that pretty heavily every year. And we use that probably more than any other district.
Absolutely. We currently do not have a student population to conduct endorsements ourselves, so we are required to go through RESA for those endorsements. I think it's 30,000. Is that correct, Dr. Flint? Students are required in order to conduct them ourselves.
Any further questions? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. Any opposed? Seeing none, that passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you. And we do have a very good relationship with them. Very much appreciate what our RESA does. Moving on to superintendent reports, let me give you just a little bit of information before we wrap this up. On July 24th, the Columbia County School District hosted a welcome orientation and induction kickoff at North Columbia Elementary School for the newest members of our educational team, and Mr. Wright told you a little bit about that. We welcomed 205 educators who are either beginning their careers in education or are new to the Columbia County School District. As you can see from the photos before you, the event provided opportunities for learning, collaboration, and connection as our new teachers prepared for a successful school year. I want to thank our Human Resources Department and staff, as well as others that were there for the day, to make that event an informative and effective resource for our new team members. We extend our appreciation to our partners, of which a number of partners were involved, local businesses, providing a number of exciting door prizes, including a Chromebook to one new employee. And I'll just have to say it was one of the most engaged and exciting groups I've been able to speak to as new teachers. They're always pretty excited, but this one, Mr. Wright, they were just kind of over the top. And Mr. Casado, you were there too, and spoke along with some other folks. And anyway, they were pretty excited to be there. So we're really looking forward to all them coming in, or what they're going to do with us this year. We did have the first day of school. Last Tuesday, we welcomed more than 27,000 students back to the classroom for the first day of school. Thank you to all of our staff who helped prepare our schools and welcome students back. We also want to recognize our teachers, principals, school administrative teams who've been preparing for this day. We're off to a great start, looking forward to a great school year. And the numbers are looking good. This year at this time, typically we're a little lower than we will be when we get our final counts, but we're under 400 students from our projection. So that's a little bit better than we've seen in previous years. So looking forward to getting to that 27,605 students this year. The rest of the items on the agenda are dates of events. If you have any questions, board members, that concludes this portion of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Flint. Tonight, we do not have anyone who has signed up for public participation. So next, I will entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Make a motion that we retire to executive session and discuss personnel, legal, and real estate matters.
Second.
All in favor, please raise your right hand. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back and continue the meeting.
Mine's in there.
a motion, Chairman, to be directed to execute an affidavit in accordance with state law that was discussed during executive session that violated the committee.
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. All right, that passes unanimously.
Motion that the personnel sheet as discussed in executive session be approved.
All in favor of approval of personnel sheet, please raise your right hand. All right, that's unanimous, I believe. Is that unanimous?
Yes. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we table the executive session, discussion of executive session procedures.
Second.
Is there
Right
discussion on that?
No, no discussion on motion to table. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? All right, that passes 4-1.
Chairman, I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Raise your right hand. That's unanimous. Thank you, Tom.